Over the past 40 years, pastors Bill and Bev Abbenbroek have given their lives to building the local church on the Sunshine Coast and establishing mission works around the world. They have left in their wake countless changed lives, significant kingdom resources, and have had a hand in establishing some of the coast's strongest ministries. Tonight, we celebrate the journey so far. Born in 1947 in post-war Holland at a weight of 15 pounds, Willem Cornelius Abbenbroek was destined to live life big. In his teenage years, his family was radically saved, and Bill felt the call of God to enter the ministry. This calling set him on a path that would forever change his life. Bill's first ministry appointment lasted 6 months at Woombai under Keith Hanna. It was an unpaid position, and Bill quickly learned that serving Jesus required a great sacrifice and an entrepreneurial spirit. He began picking beans to supplement his income, but drew the line at cutting sugarcane by hand. While Bill was learning valuable ministry lessons, a young lady by the name of Bev Mitchell, who had already been in New Guinea as a missionary teacher for more than 2 years, decided to enroll at Bible College in Brisbane. During a visit to Melbourne, she was introduced to a strapping young man at a church camp. Not long after, the same young man was appointed assistant pastor at Groveley in Brisbane, where Bev regularly visited for her prac teaching. They took more than a passing interest in each other, and despite strict Bible college rules about staying 3 feet away from the opposite sex, found creative ways to become friends. Things moved quickly, and Bill and Bev were soon engaged, and in June 1970, they were married at Glad Tidings Tabernacle in Fortitude Valley. By 1972, their first child, Sonia, had been born, and they began their first ministry appointment together at the Mergen Church. Then in December 1974, with their second child, Nadine, having arrived, they received a call to help out at Woombai while the pastor, Neil Westbrook, overcame some health problems. The expected few months at Woombai stretched on, and soon became a permanent appointment that would last 14 years. The old church building and hall was located in Woombai's main street, but with the congregation growing quickly, Bill's visionary eyes began looking for a place to expand the work to. He found a 10-acre plot in Mackenzie Road, closer to Nambour, which was part pineapple farm and part disused quarry. The original church buildings were moved to the new site, and the old block of land sold off. Throughout the early years, the church continued to grow, and by the late 70s, the church was attracting both new and established Christians from all over the coast. As the only significant Pentecostal work on the Sunshine Coast, people travelled from Karoi, Noosa and Caloundra. About that time, pastors Bill and Bev began home groups in Buderim and Caloundra. Assistant pastor Ross Davies felt the call of God to turn one of these groups into a new ministry work in Buderim. This small home group eventually became known as King's Church and is today known as Calvary Church. In Caloundra, Bill and Bev helped to build another group, which later became known as Coast Life and is now known as Acts International Church. But Bill and Bev also had a passion for missions and supported many ministries, including Roger and Daphne Saunders, who with Dr. Raj and his team established more than 300 churches over 25 years. Back at home, Bill and Bev, along with Associate Pastor Paul Kamek, had a vision to create a quality Christian school after being approached by congregational members wanting Christian education for their children. They set about the work of establishing Nambour's Christian College, and along the way brought the total land holding to 33 acres for church and school facilities. Several years later, under the leadership of Gerald Rowlands, Principal Bruce Campbell expanded the vision of the school. The college now caters for more than 1,200 students from prep to grade 12. In 1988, Bill and Bev moved on from church leadership, and over the next 6 years, life took on an entirely different direction. By 1994, both had full-time jobs in their chosen professions, but the burden to see the Sunshine Coast come to Jesus never left them. They began a home church, which became known as Sun City Christian Centre. After a few years of moving premises, Sun City purchased a house in Blank Street, Maroochydore. It was a good buy, but it needed a lot of work, so Bill took 10 months off to complete a renovation. As the new millennium rolled on, there were more mission trips to Indonesia and the Philippines, and also to Kazakhstan. Earlier this year, After much prayer and seeking the Lord, Bill and Bev and the church board felt it was time to move to the next phase of ministry and hand over the leadership to good friends Gary and Casey McDonald of Metro Church on the Gold Coast. After more than 40 years of sowing their lives into establishing kingdom works both here on the Sunshine Coast and to the ends of the earth, Bill and Bev are to be highly honoured. Tonight is our opportunity to say thank you. We love you and we honour you for the investment you have made in the lives of so many people. This work is certainly not over, but as this chapter draws to an end, let us take a moment to thank these two groundbreakers and kingdom advancers who have given their lives to the cause of Christ.